YouTubes, I'll let you listen to this.
The tournament awaits only your arrival to begin.
Alright, so here we are. Now it is time to crank out the Cid campaign. I don't know what your guys' takes on this campaign is. I think it's a great campaign. It's a lot easier than the Hun campaign, I would have to say. But you do get a challenge later on, and you do get to do some conquering with a couple of different societies and civilizations, and the Spanish are pretty fun to play with. So here we are in the first scenario, brother against brother. The hints you can kind of avoid other than number 2. Most of the stone is in Castile. Castile has already been used by King Alfonso, and all their stone patches is in his area, so we can't really use that much. King Alfonso's blue is your enemy. You just have to take down his castle to get King Alfonso, who you're looking for, to resign. And your ally is King Sancho, and he's yellow. So we're going to start it up here. Here's El Cid. Here is like Attila the Hun. He'll get a horse later on.
Defeat my champion in combat, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, and I will give you command of my army. Let the tournament
He ain't no champion. He's a two-handed swordsman. You pulling that gap on me? Really? You would think at this point one of them would be dead. They're hacking away at each other, slicing each other up into little bits and pieces, but they're still standing there. I don't really know how you would measure that many hit points left. Maybe a number of organs left, so he's lost the liver, kidney.
I would face the Cid, my king, with your permission.
You would face him from horseback, hmm? He afoot? I will not allow that. However, if he wishes, I have a horse for Rodrigo in my stable. Rodrigo? The horse, Babieca, comes from the renowned royal stables of Seville.
Alright, so now that we're on a horse,
a splendid sight! Now, go back to the task.
We're gonna beat up this guy with our lancer. Doesn't look like we use a sword, but that sword's overrated. Let's pull out the lancer. Let's joust away. So all you gotta do is just kill this guy. Trust me, you will not die, especially with getting healed by getting a horse. Maybe a horse has special medicinal property. Whatever it is.
The Cid. You will lead the armies of Castile. I am glad that you have won. You are the only man I would trust with a very important...
It is, but I'm sorry, you're gonna die pretty soon.
Rodrigo, you know of my brother Alfonso. You also know of his ambition to rule all of Spain. I need you to travel to his castle at Colpejera, capture Alfonso, and bring him to me so that I may persuade him that ruling Leon...
Alright, so what we have to do now, we have to take command of this army that we're gonna receive, and then we have to kind of convince his brother Alfonso, whose castle is over here, that he's got enough on his plate with Leon. So we're gonna head down here. That's our army. We're not gonna get it until he says, "Look." And I don't really know. Are those supposed to be cactus? And they're sitting on a mountain.
Your army has assembled.
I see it, idiot.
Look.
The Cid. I love that. Okay. So we're gonna use these villagers. I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible. It'll probably seep into 3 videos. This scenario, but that's not too long considering it could take a little bit longer. First, what you want to do is you want to go over here, put a mining camp down, and get some stone going. All right. You have plenty of castles to help take out some of the scouts that King Alfonso sent. Obviously, they're not gonna go for you and hurt you or anything, but they're gonna be walking around the map, trying to scout out the place. And King Sancho doesn't really have an army, but he does have a ton of towers and castles and whatever to defend, just in case. Some people, I don't know, this is not really too big of a threat. There's not really too big a threat from King Alfonso's army in this scenario. Although, if you do press in Marco Polo in this scenario, holy cow. You want to see scorpions? He's got scorpions. I don't know why he doesn't use them. He's got about 30 scorpions at one point. But I'm fine with him not using them.
El Cid, we heard you were King Sancho's champion. We are at your
thank you.
disposal.
Okay, so right now we obviously don't have enough in terms of wood, so I'm gonna send my guys over here that need to get wood over there, just because I don't want to by accident get too close to King Alfonso, who is who is over there. His base is right there. And what you want to do with this knight, you want to get a knight, bring him up here. You can get some units who are, I don't know, neutral-ish, Gaia as you would call them, right there. And then you can send a knight down to right there, and there's some more of those units. And then we have the same over there. This is one thing that's cool about this first scenario, is that there's a lot of like Easter eggs, if you will, hidden throughout the map that you can get kind of extra units. The extra conquistadors that you get, I believe, are greater. No, they're less in hit points and attack, but they are still extra units nonetheless. Alright, go up the plateau, sir. So use this knight to keep scouting it out. You really don't have a scout cavalry or light cavalry or anything at this point, so might as well use a knight. There they are, 3 more conquistador. Not a great addition, but nonetheless it's good. And see, that's what I'm talking about right there. I used to play this scenario like ridiculous. All you would have to do. Oh, what are you doing? You're a serf. No wonder you're a serf and your name's crossed out. I'm sick of being yellow. I'm glad I'm red now. I thought I'd throw that in there. So over here is a monastery with 6 monks. I know, it's nice. The Spaniards are a monk.
We have heard of the Cid's piety and would humbly join his service.
Well, thank you, Friar Tuck. Get over there, get those relics, and plop them in this monastery. Obviously, you get a great influx of gold with having 4 relics in a monastery. The bad thing is we're not going to use it entirely because, as you may think, just destroying a castle serves this out to being a pretty short scenario. I used to play this scenario, and I would play it out forever because there's tons of resources, there's tons of fun things on this map. Being the Spaniards is really addicting, honestly, with the gunpowder units. And the missionaries are pretty cool themselves as well. So get these guys grouped together, and these monks are going to be pretty important for you. Once you get up to 275 wood, you obviously know what to do. And you can put down a town center because you're going to need some more villagers. So now we are ready. Get him to go drop that off. And you can build a town center right there. You don't want to get too close to King Alfonso's base because if you do, that triggers assaults from them. And you want to stay away from this guard tower as best as you can as well. You don't want to get your monks killed or anything. You lose one, not a huge problem. You lose a couple, I mean, it's not a good thing. So you keep getting the stone right here. There is a stone pile right there that you can gain access to. But once again, it's right next to King Alfonso's army's base. So it's not the greatest option. And way to go, being the decoy for me, light cavalry. See how King Sancho's doing the little things? Too bad he'll only be with you for one more for this scenario, because after this scenario you'll see a cutscene. It's a very sad, somber cutscene. King Alfonso lures Sancho. Seems a pretty chill guy to his death. I mean, that's unfortunate, to say the least. So we can get horse collar right here. I'm not going to though, or you know what, I'm gonna get it nonetheless. Not really a big problem. Bit axe is probably more important, and obviously don't research gold mining. You're not going to have enough gold that you're going to be mining, plus with the relics you probably have sufficient gold. The most important thing is getting to the castle age as quickly as possible, which entails getting food, getting gold, and getting a market up next as your next building. Forget about double bit axe for right now, but you want to send some villagers over there to get some more wood nonetheless. Alright, so send some villagers over there. Oh frick, I forgot about that. Thank you.
Wonderful. With this building you have begun your quest in earnest. I send my thanks and the thanks of Castile.
Why thank you. Okay, so you realize at this point you got a pretty good army in terms of defenses. What you can do is get your archers. I need to find them. The bad thing about the Spaniards, they can't get crossbowmen or arbalists. Not that I'm a huge fan of those not to begin with, but you can't. So that's kind of a buzzkill. Next thing you want to do is, let's see, you want to get some villagers up, but you don't want to waste a lot of your wood. You want to get a market up first so you can get cartography. So we're going to wait until we get 175 wood for that. Once these guys are done with the stone, you can get gold over here, but I think it's more important to get either food or wood at this point. Goodbye, archer. So we're going to wait it out just a little bit more. Wait for this person. Plop some wood. Thank you very much. Go to the town center. get your market up. Cartography will be great because King Sancho's really got this place scouted out for you to begin with. And these guys will do most of the defending for you early on. As King Alfonso will send a group of guys over here. He does have a pretty good formidable army to begin, but if you are quick enough, the 10-minute mark is a time where King Alfonso is pretty weak and you can defeat him. But he has a good initial army. The thing with King Sancho is this is his only army. Pathetic Sancho, what are you pulling on me? I see why you got assassinated. Sorry. This is my take. My take's not important, so get some double bit axe now. Makes you not have to be too concerned about getting extra villagers. Obviously, getting a castle will help your population limit out. And we can get this. Cartography will be important. And now we need one more castle age building. So keep getting food right here. Obviously, we can't. Getting houses is important, but we're not going to jump to that right. Well, actually, I'll get a couple houses right now since once I get a castle up. It's you're kind of weighing you kind of weigh things back and forth. You don't want to spend too much on. So let's sell some gold for food because you need 800. So we're gonna get some more food here. There we go. And you want to get. I'm gonna get. Excuse me. I'm gonna get a barracks up, or not a barracks. You want to get the cheapest. The cheapest feudal age building you can, I believe, is a blacksmith. Get out of my face, cartography. Alright, so 150, no, it's the, no, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer. You want to get a blacksmith up, because that's the cheapest feudal age building that you can get. Obviously, you need 2 feudal age buildings, as you know by this point. Hopefully, you advance to the castle age, but this is the first time we are in the feudal age. Or maybe we were in the feudal age in the walls of Constantinople. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. But now, resource-wise, we are ready to go to the castle age. And that farm is dead, so I'm going to delete that. It's pissing me off. Oh, you can't yet. Well, that's a barren tree. How does this happen? How do we get all these flush trees? Boom! Alright, whatever. Okay, so with these guys, you can defend. This is the stone camp that I was talking about right there. The nice thing about these guys, about the Spaniards, is that they don't need gold for blacksmith upgrades, so you can really take jumps technology-wise with the blacksmith right away. See, iron forging, 150 food, sick nasty, so I love that. Do we have some idleness right there? Yes, we do. Alright, so I'm going to bring them. I'm going to bring 2 of them to get gold, or I have to wait, and 2 of them to get gold, 2 of them to get wood. Once I get enough for a mining camp. Keep on working, keep on working. Next thing you want to do, you have plenty for a castle. You don't want to worry about stone walls, but you want to build a castle right here with all the villagers that you have in this immediate base, just because you want to get it up quickly as possible, and ideally you want to get it in range of this gate. But be careful, you might need to bring some conquistadors over there to kill some of their units. And I believe that they have hearsay already. So if you're going to try to convert their units, they're probably going to be... see, what they do is they have an initial army, but they will send scouts most of the time. That initial army will primarily be used for scouting out the map and things like that. They have a couple mangonels there too, but not too much to worry about. As you learn, mangonels and scorpions have really got to find a different game to play in, because trebuchets and battering rams are just going to screw you over. You got no place. I don't understand it. Whatever. Do we have any idleness? Alright, yes, we do have some idleness. As far as barracks and stables, you might want to make a stable just because you're probably going to have a little bit more in terms of food instead of like gold and stuff in this scenario. Just how it kind of ends up in the end. But the primary building you want to focus on, and since you have a pretty good standing army right now, is the castle units and the petards. So we'll be focusing on that. And I'm going to get a couple of villagers up here in a second. Keep building these houses. And once you can, you want to get bodkinero, or fletching, excuse me, because you want to enable your castle to have the longest range possible. The next building you want to make what requires wood is a university, because you want to get murder holes as well. So we're going to do that in a second. 200 wood, so that's a big chunk out of there. And wheelbarrow, I guess. But this is one thing that's nice about this town center right here. It'll take care of some of their units. Try not to spread out too much over there. So we can get Bodcanero as well, so we're going to have to wait for that. Now you can get University. I recommend getting Murder Holes before you... just block up this pad, it's not really that necessary. I recommend getting Murder Holes before you even consider building a castle, just because they're going to rush at your castle pretty quickly, especially if you start firing at that gate. And the castle that he has is right there, so it's a real short... it's a hop, skip, and a jump over to the cat. You stuck in there? You piece of crap. You just wasted me a house. Those people got to be pissed off. What kind of landlord am I? I mean, I give them the house. They can rent my house. Boom! I destroy their house too. So they're probably pissed off at me. I understand. I'm not the nicest landlord out there. I destroy houses. So you're good in terms of gold, but you want to have as much gold as possible later on for your petards and stuff like that. And you can kind of take it leisurely right now, but wait, keep waiting for the Bodcanero. First thing you want to do is Murder Holes as well once you get the opportunity, and Siege Engineers. So I'm going to get Siege Engineers right now, or Masonry, excuse me. What is Siege Engine? What is Siege? Let me check this out. And the Spaniards do. Why was I keep saying Siege Engineers all this time? The Spaniards do. It's kind of legitimate to have a university for the Spaniards. They actually care about their education, so I'm fine with building them now. And so at this point, I recommend getting about 2 more houses, just because a castle will give you 25. Whoa! Will give you a big boost in population, but you're going to need some to fall back on. But now you're kind of at the apex of your population because you have all these military units. I guess that's not necessarily true, though, because you're going to get some more villagers. But right now, there's not much going on in the hood. We're just going to wait it out until they run out a lot of their scout units. If you don't kill them initially, that's fine. One thing that's pretty fun to do is when I used to screw around in this scenario, I'd put a guy right there, a guy right there, and a guy right there. Boom! Conquistadors would come out and kill him. That's when I was in my Conquistador love affair. I guess I kind of still am. I guess. Not really, though. Alright, so, put that... It would be kind of fun to make like a Civil War campaign where it's all like gunpowder units and like only scout cavalry. Sick nasty. I might do that sometime. Make a nice Fort Sumter, bombard towers, cannon galleons. Would that be fun? I think that would be fun. Alright, so, get about 50 there, and then one more house will get up. Bye-bye, Conquistador, eventually. Conquistadors have just pitiful accuracy, pretty good range, pitiful accuracy. It'll make you puke if you see it. Alright, so this is, they like to send some hunters out, primarily, to gather their food, but you're not really going to be doing like any starving or anything of their units, so you don't worry about him too much. I just figured I'd kill him because I had the opportunity to do so. And El Cid is a beast, so don't worry about him getting killed either. Alright, so now you've almost got to the point where you... I want to build one more, just for the sole single fact that I need a couple villagers to help me build that castle quickly and efficiently. And I need to get murder holes in a second. That's taking a while. Alright, so I'm going to sell off a little bit to get my murder holes. And we had just enough to get a castle, so you want to time that perfectly, or not time that, measure that perfectly with how much stone you have. And we've got about a minute left in this video. In the next part, I will be getting really close to taking out what remains of their gate and their couple guard towers. You ideally want to get rid of these 3 barracks, their guard towers, and that gate, and then you can just go in there and plow away his castle. It's real simple. So, how'd you get over there, long swordsman, without me noticing? How did this happen? Another thing you're eventually going to want to get is Town Watch, because you want to see their gate with your own castle. Alright, whoa! Hello! Big Mangonel coming in. The his out. Not good. Not good. Lost 2 of my conquistadors. That was not exciting. That was awful. Alright, not enough food, so I can only make one of these villagers right now. So kill these guys off. You got monks working at it. You can get rid of these guys real quick, and we'll finish off what remains of their starting units in the next part and get our castle up as well. So thanks for watching this first part of Brother Against Brother. See you guys next time.